my sewing space, and tonight we are starting our Sagebrush top sew along sagebrush. Yeah, sagebrush top. I thought it might be called like the sagebrush blouse or something like that, but it is the sagebrush top. And of course, I forgot the sample at the store because that is the kind of brain that I have. But it's okay. We're going to make do without for this evening. I'll make sure that I grab it for next week. If you are joining us for the first time and haven't heard about what we're doing, we're not going to approach this like we would a traditional sew along. The way we've been doing sew alongs up until now, we start with how to do all of the steps of the pattern and work our way through until you get a final garment. With this one, there's a really great sew along. Friday Pattern Company is the name of the pattern designer, and there is a fantastic sew along on her webpage. So if you want step-by-step instructions that are visual, check out what she's got going on. I'll make sure to put a link in the description. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to hack this pattern. It's very easy. It's very hackable. There's a lot of information out there on the internet. And so we're going to filter it down for you and make sure that we're your trusted source and you're coming to us. So this week, the first thing I'm going to talk about is fabric choices for this garment, because there are lots of fabric choices. I'm going to move my chair, which is right down there, so I don't trip on it, and bring my lady over here. So this is not a sagebrush. This is a cello, but it's got a similar sleeve to it, and so I'm going to use it for illustration purposes. There are lots of different kinds of fabric that you could sew this shirt out of, depending on what you want. So talking about this first, this is a cotton lawn. So because of the cotton content, it is very structured. Quilting cotton would be similar. Linen would be similar, and to a degree, the sample that I sewed, the green one that's in the promotional images, is also the same because it's a bamboo cotton. So it's very structured, and what that means, especially when it comes to the sleeves, you can see is that once my arm gets in here, it would be different. It really holds the shape of the sleeve. This has been squished in my closet for a while. If my shoulder was in there, you would see it really holds the shape of that sleeve. So you're going to get these like big poofy sleeves. If you are like, I want the poof, but I would like it to be a little bit more relaxed, what you're going to want to look for is something like a bamboo, a rayon, a viscose. All of these things are going to drape. Look for in the description of your fabric when you're buying it for fluid drape or good drape. So I'm using this rayon challis. This is what I'm going to sew my sample out of. And you can see, I'll unfold it, like it just falls. It falls. And what that means is when you sew the sleeve is going to fall as well. And so it's going to hang very nicely on your body, as opposed to the cotton, which is going to stand up straight. So those are things to take into consideration when you are choosing your fabric. And it really comes down to personal choice. No one fabric is right versus wrong. It's what you want out of the garment. And you can see that the cello is very similar. There are other similar tops that have this feature. And so keeping that in mind when you fabric shop, I want this to sort of stand out from my body and show off the architecture or the structure of the garment, then that is what you would choose. You would choose, a cotton or shirting, versus I want it to fall and drape nicely, then you would choose a rayon, a viscose. Sometimes cottons, very, very light cottons like a batiste or a voile, they're a very, very fine woven light cotton, would give you that nice fall as well. So the key thing to look for is drape. How does the fabric drape? Let me know. I see some people have joined us. Welcome. I'm going to put the live chat button on. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions so far. Another thing to consider, especially if you're going to be, our final lesson is going to be on how to turn this into a dress. I would suggest possibly working through your sewing, not necessarily as we go. So our first lesson is on, our first week is on the fabric choices and how to de-poof the sleeve. Next week, this pattern has a tie neck in the back, and so we're going to talk about, sorry, the third week we're going to talk about how to change from a ruffle to insert something else like a trim or a piece of lace. The third week we're going to talk about how to turn it from a tie into a button closure, and I'll also go over French seaming that week. And then the final week we're going to talk about 2 different methods of turning this pattern into a dress. One, turning it into a sort of like shift dress or sack dress that just is like, and the other one is turning it into like a, I guess not fit and flare, but like A-line, something with like an attached skirt. So that if you're like, yeah, I really want to do the attached skirt, don't cut out your pattern pieces this week, because it's going to change what you do based on that 4th week. And I will be making mine into a dress. So we'll go through all of that. Beautiful. Could I de-poof by not adding? So if you don't, this one has elastic in this sleeve. If you don't add, so there's 2, you're jumping ahead, Diana. There's 2 parts of this sleeve that are poofy. There is the sleeve head, and then there's the hole that your arm comes out of. And so what I'm going to show you is how to de-poof this arm sleeve, and so you'll still end up with some poofiness down in here. I will talk about how to reduce this poofiness too, but you need to remember that because this is a woven garment, we can't take away all of the ease, and you would need to take into consideration what your bicep measurement is. And then, yes, you could take, you could not put elastic, but just leaving out the elastic is going to just leave this like big armhole, and it's going to be significantly bigger than your arm. I will start demonstrating, and then I do need to shift my camera down. I'm going to move this lady over here. So this is the sleeve piece. You can see it's quite large, and if I put it on myself, and I have on puffy sleeves tonight too, because I like a puffy sleeve. If I were, I'm going to get some Wonder Clips. Wonder Clips are so good for everything. They really, really, really are. So I'm going to Wonder Clip this together, and we're going to pretend that I have sewn this sleeve. So, and you can do this. This is one of the great things about using tissue paper instead of cutting up your patterns, because you can do things like tissue fitting more easily. You can see how much room there is in that sleeve. So if I just left the elastic off, it would be very, very, very large. And with the same method that we're going to use to decrease the poofiness here, you can cut all the way through to decrease the poofiness down here as well. I'm not going to do that. And I probably am actually going to put poof sleeves on mine because, like I said, I like a poofy sleeve. I am a poofy sleeve girl. Okay, so if there are no further questions on fabric choices, we're going to dive right into how to de-poof this sleeve. And I will warn you, there is some math involved. You can take notes. There's also a couple of blog posts that I will point you towards that you can read and have the same information saved for later. So without further ado, we're going to point you down here. All right, so you can see, maybe you can see. Now we can see. And can I put my little light on? Will that help? Yes, it does. Thank you for bearing with me. It's been like, I realized the last sew along I did was oh, is that too far away? Can we, no, we can see this. The last, oh, maybe it's too bright over there. The last sew along I did was the Christmas quilt, which was a very long time ago. And I need to turn my computer on because that's got my calculator up and running right now. And please ask more questions. I like this. So the first thing that can let me know if you cannot see this, or if it's washed out or too bright or whatnot, and I'll make adjustments. And actually, I'm going to quickly go here to YouTube and follow along in the background and make sure I have the sound off because that's important. Oh, look, it's me in stereo. All right. No, I said close this. Okay, it was not letting me turn the sound off, which I find hilarious. Okay, so I am watching comments on the screen. Let me know if this is not great. What I have done is I have taped together my bodice pieces, so the yokes as well as the lower front and back, overlapping by 5/8 of an inch centimeter. And the reason that you do this is you have to take into account your seam allowance. So I've got those all taped together. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to measure the arm curve here. I'm going to use, I don't normally use centimeters when I measure, but I'm going to do that because I want a more, I don't want to fiddle around with quarters of an inches and eighths of an inches. So I want a more precise measurement. So using my tape measure, I measure all the way around. Oh, and for reference, this is a size large. So I get 61 centimeters. We are now done with these pieces, so I'm just going to put them aside for now. Then I'm going to take my sleeve piece. I have a fresh sleeve piece here because we're going to be marking this up. And it's really fresh. It wants to roll all over the place, and I just put a hole in it. I'm going to turn it to the other side. Okay. You can see that okay. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing now. I'm going to measure all around the sleeve head. And remembering my first measurement of 61 centimeters. You could use a piece of string or yarn. It's a little bit more flexible than this tape measure. Okay, and I get 89 centimeters. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 89 minus 61. And I get 28. So in order to decrease the poof here, I need to take out 28 centimeters. That will take all of the ease out, and I don't want to do that, so I probably, this is very arbitrary, I'll give myself, actually, hang on, we're going to do it this way. What you need to do is you need to divide this 28 centimeters between the, and I'm just going to transfer these to the other side, between the notches, starting from the center. The more evenly you distribute this, the more evenly the gradual it will be, and the more natural of a shape you'll get. So you don't want to choose to distribute this among, like, 4 lines. Even the blog post that I was reading suggested 9 as the magic number. So I'm going to go with that, and we'll divide 28 divided by 9 equals 3.111. We'll disregard that, and I'm going to say I want to leave a little bit of ease in here, so I'm going to say let's go with 2.5 centimeters. So I need 9 lines times 2.5 centimeters, starting from the middle. So there is my middle notch. And actually what I'm going to do is fold this. Nope, I was fold it on the notch. There we go. That was not very straight, Katie. That's okay. So there is my first line, and I've just realized this is only in inches, not in centimeters. So I'm going to have to do these conversions any which way. If you were, so Diana, if you wanted to take the, move this calculator, if you wanted to take the width out of the bottom of the sleeve as well, you would go all the way down. Because we're not going to do that, I'm going to go just to about here, which is the point where my hem is. And doing a quick conversion, 2.2 centimeters is 1 inch. So let's go with 1 inch marks, starting from here and radiating out. All ending here. And that's 1 inch. I'm going to turn this around. So there's 1. And I'm going to suggest, if you really want to test your fit, sew yourself a muslin of this. Sew yourself a muslin of just your sleeve. See if you're like, you know what, I love this. This is exactly what I wanted. Versus, oh my God, it's still too poofy. Versus, I took out too much poof and I can't get my arm into it. 1, 2, 3. 4, and same thing now on this side. And I could probably spread these out a little bit more. but I'm not. So I'm going with that 2.2 centimeters instead of 3, because I want to leave a little bit of ease in my sleeve. I want to leave a little bit of poofiness. Let me know if you're following me so far. If you've got questions, pop them in the comments. If you tell me if you're like, yes, I am so going to do this, versus why would I take the, the poofiness out of this sleeve? Okay. This is my paper rotary cutter. It is not a rotary cutter. I save it for cutting paper in situations like this. It's an old dead blade. So what you're going to do now, oh, I think I did this wrong. I am reading the blog post. Sorry. Yes, I entirely just did this wrong. What we need to do is evenly distribute your lines before your notches. Because this is the entire width that we want to take out, but we need to distribute it more evenly. So I'm going to take this measurement here. Let's flip over to inches. I feel like I've done something really wrong. You're going to do, I'm glad to hear that, Diana. So we need to divide these 28 centimeters amongst, this is 50 some odd centimeters. That's where I got this wrong. I'm going to eyeball this. I suggest you divide more evenly than me. You know me. You know how much of a, or if you don't know me, I'm very much a seat of the pants kind of person. That looks about halfway to me. So I've now got, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am now going to cut along these lines. Not going all the way to the bottom of the sleeve. And make sure I've cut off 2 pieces because I'm really great at this. You don't want to cut all the way down. If you do that, you're going to end up losing your pieces. What you want to do now is you want to overlap these pieces. So I was trying to get rid of 1 inch. You want to overlap them each by 1/2 inch because you've got to take it equally out of both sides. So And I almost wish I had done this with cardboard because it's a little less tricky here. It's all rolling up on itself. Let's see if I can make this work. That's about 1/2 inch. And you're going to see, you can see here, it's not perfect. We're going to have to redraw this sleeve. So Diana, if you're hoping to do this adjustment, I'm going to suggest that you want to take it out from the bottom as well. I would suggest what you do is slash vertically instead of horizontally, and you'll take out the width in both the top and the bottom at the same time. This piece doesn't want to cooperate. I'm going to see if I can lay my ruler on top of it. There we go. And that's getting about 1/2 inch there. And what I'm going to show at the end, I've kept my original pattern piece intact. Of course this happened. It's going to show that you can see how reduced everything is. And finally, just a bit. Yes. You should try. Get some muslin, get some cheap fabric, get a bed sheet, and you know, make yourself a single sleeve, and see how it works. The other trick that I've done before, and especially if you sew a lot of patterns from a particular, like a single, source, you'll see that their block is largely the same. And so what I've done in the past is I've taken a sleeve piece from one pattern and put it on a different pattern because I knew that the sleeve head was going to fit, and it did, and I didn't have to do much futzing with it. So this is not pretty looking right now. I would definitely suggest that you want to redraw this piece. You can see it's all jagged around here because you want to smooth this out. But if we lay down, so this is my original sagebrush piece, and if I lay this down, trying to match it up as best as possible. Oh, and it doesn't want to go flat. That's part of the problem. Hang on here. Okay, so you can see I've taken out all of this width, so it won't, because this all gets gathered up, and that's what makes that poof. And so this is going to be significantly less poofy. You'll remember how I tried the sleeve on. Show you again. get the idea. And how much space there was in the arm. And definitely 100% don't do this to like the pattern piece that's in here. Trace your pattern piece. I'm going to pop this up for a second. Hello again, everybody. There we go. That was my hand. So you can see, if I put this on and try not to poke more holes in it than necessary, there's still some here, but much less up here, because this will get gathered just a little bit. So, and that is how you do it. In the opposite direction, if you wanted to take a pattern with, right, huge difference. And like it's really amazing. So if you wanted to take a pattern that didn't have a puff sleeve and add a puff sleeve to it, what you would do is this, just in reverse. You would decide how much poof you wanted, how much extra, and then you would do the same. This is called a slash and spread. So you would slash and spread, very similar to doing like a full bust adjustment where you're adding in a wedge of fabric. You're adding in a wedge, more fabric that then gets gathered up into the sleeve. So on that note, this is our first adjustment. Please let me know in the comments. We already know Diana is going to be attempting this just a little bit. But for everybody else watching, let me know if this is a technique that you're going to attempt on your sagebrush, if it's something that you've already done on another top, or something that you're looking to add into your next sew. It would be really great if you could leave a comment and let us know that. For next week, if you don't want to miss a notification, make sure you hit the little bell that's underneath. That'll turn on your notifications for Fabrications Ottawa. You'll never miss a video when we go live, when we have a new tip, and our fab chats on Tuesdays. And next week, we are going to talk about that ruffle and changing that out for something else. This has been really wonderful being back here with everybody, and I'm looking forward to doing it again next week. Have a great week, and we'll see you. Bye.